Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Wonderful.
Okay, I don't know why this is so lonely right now.
Um, I am Jamile. Who are you?
Yes, Varon.
Ron, hello. How are you?
I am good. I walked through the door at 8:15 because I work overnight, so I'm just coming in. Normally that's the case, but I'm like in a little bit earlier. But just walking through the door, and I'm like, I have to go use the bathroom. So I logged in, but I was like, make sure I put the phone away from me so nobody would be hearing anything.
I know I can't. I wasn't here. And usually by this time, there's other people on here. So
Yeah, so so I have been here but away and I'm still trying to get out of my clothes.
okay. Now, are you a nurse?
Yamile, buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Is that bad?
I can't really hear you.
Yeah, you're low, Jamila.
No. Give me. Okay.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
here you are. Yes.
Yes. It's Tony, everybody. It's Tony.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Morning.
morning. It's Tiffany from Arizona.
What's up?
Huh?
It's hard to get out of bed. It's like 37 degrees here.
Yeah, it's cold over here. I think it's 22 degrees here.
Where are
But
you
it's
at again?
in North Carolina, which is 22 is insane
Yeah, I'm
for
in
us.
South
This is
Carolina and it's the
Jamelia,
lowest
right?
this morning.
All right, so maybe you guys, I don't know if anybody watched my Facebook Live this morning, but it's 14 degrees in New Jersey with the real feel of 1 degree on my walk, and that was cold. So 35, that sounds balmy.
And there's palm trees all over the place.
Oh, yeah, here too.
Oh my gosh. Wait, and so we're all going to be suffering in the super freeze when we come in January 10, 11, 12.
Oh, yeah. Brace yourselves. For those of you not used to cold weathers,
Yeah.
cold winters, brace yourself because it's gonna be cold.
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
be-
borrowing a jacket
Tiffany.
from my aunt.
It's gonna be CAF, and you can put whatever fill in your words, whatever you'd like to fill in.
Tiffany, then why don't you go practice? Let's change that story. Go practice, go outside.
You're funny.
Get ready.
Get ready.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Jamelia, I am not friends with you on Facebook, and I can't see pictures of people's faces or anything. So like, even if I found 5 Jamelias, I wouldn't know which one. So do you mind finding me on Facebook and asking to be my friend? I'm just Tiffany Armstrong.
Okay, I sure will.
It would be really awesome because I was trying to tag you yesterday and I was trying to like check everything out. And I'm like, oh, I got so frustrated. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Yay. I think we
Yeah.
are friends, Tiffany.
No. Okay. How do I spell your name?
I just sent you a message and it says Ola. It doesn't sound like Yamile. Looks like Yamail.
Okay. Got it. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
But now I know if you sent me a message, now I can just memorize it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Dr. Joan Greco, Jay Levine, hello.
Hello. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
How cold is it over there, guys? Wherever you are, how cold is it?
I'm in Hawaii and it is
Stop it.
about 70 right now.
I'm with Tony in the
over.
1 degree weather here in Jersey.
Yeah, 1 degree. That was not fun this morning. You should have seen the palm trees when I was walking. Actually, they were icicles, but they were hanging up.
This
They were
is Tony
shivering.
Rodriguez, right?
Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna watch when we all hang up. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm
I
definitely
posted
gonna
it.
watch it.
Yeah,
Love
I
your
posted
posts,
it
Tony.
on Unblinded. Thank you.
Very
Appreciate
good.
that. So awesome. So Yamile, we had a nice long talk yesterday, so that was interesting.
It was very interesting. It was a divine caca talk.
Listen, we're
For
all
those
kidding
that are
around.
waiting for that conversation, it will be uploaded to the PBS local channel.
Oh, I don't know about PBS, but so for those of you who don't know, I'll wind up posting it one of these days. I do something called the shit talk. I know it sounds terrible, but it's true because we all carry around too much of that. And I don't mean physically. I mean metaphorically. So
Well,
yeah.
physically, we do carry a lot too.
Well, right. We carry too much. Well, and honestly, the metaphorical, you're actually carrying it around physically anyway, which is what really the problem is, right?
Yes.
It's and
Yeah.
I'll just, not to take anybody's time, but it's basically all the crap from our past that we don't let go of, that we keep carrying around with us.
Oh man.
We're forever trying to move forward, but we're always too busy carrying around our old shit. So I have a whole metaphorical story around that I'll share at some point.
That would be wonderful. I would highly appreciate that. That would be amazing. Thank you.
Tony Rodriguez dropping bombs. What is going on? I'm
Hey,
blinded.
what's up, brother?
Hey.
Good morning.
It is Trajectory Thursday, and energy is in full flow, and I don't want to stop it. Like, what are we excited for? Let's go right into some wins. What is happening in your world of ecosystem merging? What are you present to? We had an amazing training last night for whoever was on. Who would like to share anything that they learned, any new distinctions, any wins? Ready, go.
I wanted to share real quick. Yesterday, I was on the phone with powerful, amazing heroes all day. One of them was Tony. Tony, props, because you're more amazing when I actually got to talk to you and just getting to learn people more and more as I talk about the languageology that you like to coin, Fernando.
That's
The
fine.
Calicky system, the unblinded system. And it's just been amazing to use the language to learn deeper about people. Like it's like I've never spoken before until learning these methods and principles. So I thank you guys. Like, thank you for the actual scripts almost to be able to speak to people about Unblinded.
Yeah. You're very welcome. You've stepped up in a crazy way. We were on 3 calls last night together. Yeah, Mila, we were on the leadership call. You were on training. We were on this morning. We were texting. We talked to each other on Facebook. So it is your immersion that is causing your language to be sharpened so quickly. So, thank you for being grateful for us, but we're grateful for you because you're doing it. You're an example of what it looks like. Honored and happy that you're a part of it. Oh my God, we have Joan here from Hawaii. What is going on? We have some amazing people on this morning's call. But let's continue with some shares. Who else would like to share what they're present to as we wait for Mr. Callaghan to jump on in a few minutes? Who else has some wins?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, it's Orly.
Hey, Orly.
Hey. I just wanted to say, I'm doing fantastic. I just graduated school last night.
Congratulations. Let's everybody
Thank
ring
you.
the bell.
Woohoo! Congrats, Orig.
Huge win. No one should live life with limits. What I wanted to share is that I started applying more and more of the formula as I learn it going along before January. I was just walking this morning on the street and someone stopped me, and I asked some key questions and I listened and applied the little so far that I know. And what an incredible win to get to know somebody at another level, a stranger. And it also ends up that I want to do a show. I want to have my own cooking show. And he's a film producer. So it's just an incredible thing to change your vocabulary, to change your focus, and to apply some of the strategies because they really work.
Who is this sharing?
This is Orly.
Good morning. Orly Shamir.
Or I'm sorry, it was a little bit of fuzz. Thanks. So it's awesome.
That's okay.
So you're experiencing acceleration and success through using the formula?
Yes, the little bit so far that I've picked up in the month, I am definitely accelerating, and with magic, because it's beautiful.
Amazing. And it feels amazing, doesn't it, to connect with people in an authentic way?
I feel today, I've just graduated school last night, and I feel with everything I'm applying and learning and my successes, like I'm walking on air, like walking on a cloud.
Oh my God, that's so thank you so much for that share.
Thank you.
It's beautiful to have that on Thankful Thursday. I have an immense amount of gratitude for you being here, for everybody being here. You know, it's funny, because I think a lot of times that for all of us, excuse me, out of breath, I was just wrapping up a workout, getting over feeling slightly under the weather and getting back in full swing. So sometimes in space, I feel of personal development, and I feel like there can be some distortion of like, yeah, it's like great and I'm feeling great. And we love to feel great, and I want to feel great. I want everybody to feel great, right? At the same time, we want to have the skills and the tools to actually use to make things happen. That's our influence master. Our feeling great is our self-mastery, right? Feeling great and taking action. And then our process mastery is knowing what to do with it. So that's what we're doing here each and every day on Unblinded Sales Mastery, seeing what you don't see, but the fun excitement of exponentially growing your sales. And here's one of the most amazingly cool and awesome pieces of this puzzle. Every time we feel like, hey, I got it, I'm getting there, that's the immediate time to remember it's not yes or no. It's like, what's that next level of mastery? And I shared recently, when I spoke last time at Date with Destiny, there was, I had beautiful things said to me 2 times before that I had spoke on Tony Robbins stages. The first time, it went well. The second 2 times had incredible feedback. But I knew that there was something completely different, accessible. And here's the best part. Like the words, the affirmations, the acknowledgments, the validations that came out of the last time were so incredible. And here's what I know. I already know there's so much more. So I can't wait till the next time. I certainly can't wait till January 10, 11, 12, because there's just so much more over 3 days. But even a shorter speaking engagement, there is so much more to deliver, and so many more access points to appropriately create energetic and emotional transference to the crowd to authentically be there. But on this Thankful Thursday, let's hit 2 quick content pieces first. Can we just get mutes across the board, Tiffany? Every time, it's automatic. Okay. So thank you. And then *6 to unmute yourself. It's *6 to unmute if you want to share something. On Thankful Thursday, let's remember that a part of our thanks could be the acknowledgments and validations that we give out to people. And all of our indispensable elements are critical. That's why they're indispensable. Acknowledgments and validations are no different. They're indispensable. But they're also unique access points to accelerate relationships quickly and easily. If you read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, I love it. I love his work. It's an honor, a privilege to know his work and to have studied it. Concern I have, though, is it begins to give the impression that even though it does say genuine praise, for sure, there's elements that you can read and glean that it seems like it's positioning, manipulating, and not fully intentional and honest. If you really read the book, some of that could come through and come across. But in integrity-based human influence, what we're sharing here is indispensable element number 1 is to unconditionally love all people. To unconditionally love all people. It doesn't mean that we don't take action. It doesn't mean we don't have boundaries. We have to, but to unconditionally love all people. When we're unconditionally loving all people, that creates a genuineness in our desire to hear from them. And again, we have boundaries. We have not had the time to hear from everyone, obviously. Take Oprah. If Oprah is having her show, when she had her show, or she's engaged in a speaking engagement, there could be thousands of people who want to speak to her. She clearly can't speak to everyone, but that doesn't prevent us or her from having the ability to genuinely love everyone. You go, well, like, what about murderers? What about robbers, thieves? And you could believe whatever you want, but here's a potential access point. So we reverse the common trend. See, like I was raised by beautiful, wonderful, and incredible people, but I was still raised to judge people first and then to decide whether or not I like them and then to decide whether or not I love them. That was the model of my upbringing, right? Loving people, incredible people, wonderful family, couldn't have been more loving towards me in so many ways. And at the same time, I was taught, okay, assess, like, and judge, then decide like or not, then decide love or not. And here's what I would submit to you is that if that's the case, then in any situation where we want something, right, in addition to giving, we want an outcome, we're out of integrity if all of a sudden we're approaching the person that we want something from and we're showing up in a state like we really like them or love them, right? Because we don't really like them or love them because we haven't judged yet. So our model of world, which is of judgment, hasn't been satisfied yet. So what I'm submitting is that here's a frame to move forward in loving all people so we could sit in a more genuine place of integrity in our integrity-based human influence model. So first, if we perceive that every act, and some of this work I gleaned from Tony Robbins' work, and some of it I've innovated myself. I always cite source if it's not coming purely from me, or wherever I glean pieces from. So if we perceive every act of a human being to either be an act of love or a cry for help, an act of love or a cry for help. So the default is every human being wants to be engaged in acts of love, but then human beings in pain engage in actions that are cries for help. And that can get really charged and controversial really quickly. So when we're talking content, let's try to avoid charge and really think about and feel things at depth for a moment. Because please listen to this all the way through. So if somebody robs a bank, a robbing of a bank is a cry for help. And you go, wait a minute, you're right, like that's crazy. Well, no, it could be because they need money. It could be because they hate themselves and they want to do something incredibly risky. It could be because they want to live, they're in pain. They don't like the way society functions. They don't like capitalism, and they want to react and rebel and act out, right? That's a cry for help. Even the most heinous crimes and actions are often from people who've had heinous crimes and actions. Abusers in extraordinary amounts of cases have been abused. And anybody who engages in abuse is coming from a place of pain. It's a cry for help. Now that doesn't mean, and I'm not saying if I am or not, it doesn't even mean that I'm against capital punishment, right? That's a different conversation. It doesn't mean I'm certainly not against people being in prison for life, right? I'm certainly not against people having no possibility of being around children, other people for life. But at the same time, it doesn't prevent us from having a feeling in our heart and soul of empathy and compassion and saying that this was a cry for help engaged by a person who otherwise has an innocent soul. Lock them up, right? And if it happens to us, I've had horrible things happen to people in my own family. I had my uncle was tragically killed by a truck driver who was not paying attention and hit him going 40 miles an hour, a fully loaded truck, and looked the wrong way. There were people in my family, distant cousins, who wanted to have this guy killed, and I'm not kidding. And the rage, the pain that I saw my grandparents go through, my mother go through, me go through, my cousins go through. In fact, his son will be at the Christmas party tomorrow night. His son lived with me for 11 years old and lived with me for 3 months after the accident. I've had people in my family that were victims of sexual abuse. So I am not coming from a place that is light, like I've never experienced pain and suffering and horrible things happening to people I love and care about. At the same time, if we truly work through our levels of mastery, we can heal in these situations, and we can externally look at people that anything that goes on is either an act of love or a cry for help in some way, which is better for us. It's better for us. It's better for the daily functioning that we have. And it's much more functional for the things we want to achieve in our life if we're having unconditional love for people and taking the appropriate action steps. For me and some of the work that I do in the world, I am faced regularly and continuously with complex decisions in the space of Calgary law. I have complex decisions about giving people, at their most simple complex decisions, giving people another opportunity, terminating people, promoting people, resolving conflicts between people who both think that they're right, at high levels and lower levels. As an example, 2 or 3 years ago, 3 people that worked there, this is a little bit simpler, got into a fight. 2 women were fighting over a male and had 2 different physical altercations at the Christmas party. And for those that haven't been there, this is an elegant, beautiful, incredible space of magic and wonder. And my kids were there, my kids' friends were there. I could not believe what had transpired. And these were really good people in many ways before this. But as we began to dig beneath the surface, there had been an ongoing pattern of drama in the office, an ongoing series of things. And it was with an incredible heavy heart that the only way I could resolve the outcome was to terminate all 3 people. And when it happened, I was outraged. I hit them with a volcanic energy on the Monday after the Christmas and holiday party. It occupied my space at a massive charge. So I'm not saying that we don't have a massive charge, but at the end of the day, I still got myself back to a place of realizing that consequences, like having consequences for actions, doesn't mean you still can't unconditionally love somebody. Putting somebody in prison, right, doesn't mean you can't unconditionally love. Separating yourself from a relationship, putting a boundary, a brick wall in between yourself and somebody else, again, doesn't prevent us from having unconditional love. The reason we're having this conversation, in case anybody jumped in late, is because for us to be in our integrity-based human influence, I don't believe personally that we could flip the switch on or off again. And that's when we lose our integrity, our authenticity, because we're not really feeling that sense of truth, transparency, and actual unconditional love, because 3 minutes before that, we were like upset and angry at everybody we encountered because we hadn't yet judged, not everybody, or we hadn't judged yet if we liked them or loved them. And now we're pretending with this new person we're encountering because they could do something for us that we like and or love them. So the challenge, bottom line takeaway on this Thankful Thursday, I'm going to kick it to any wins, any other wins, because we already had a beautiful win shared. The bottom line of this Thankful Thursday is this. The indispensable element, number 1, of integrity-based human influence is to unconditionally love people. We unconditionally love people by realizing that everything everybody does is either an act of love or cry for help. None of those things prevent us from having a boundary whatsoever in our life, including an absolute boundary of never having contact with somebody or even seeing that they go to prison appropriately for their conduct, right? At the same time, there's no judgment. I'm assessing that we don't judge whether we like or love people. We just love people, but we do assess where people could stay in our space in our life. So I'm not suggesting like we're meeting people and saying, hey, come sleep in my house for a month. I'm not suggesting that. What I am suggesting is that we can have healthy boundaries and still unconditionally love people. So we can make decisions not about whether or not we're going to love somebody, and not all love is the same, of course. That's a different story for a different day. But we're also not assessing, but we also will and can assess where they stand in our life. So people need to prove themselves through actions as to whether or not they get access to certain places in our life, whether or not they have the privilege of keeping those places in our life. And finally, I'm speaking from a place of somebody who's had challenges with my boundaries in my life. I've allowed people to harm me. I've built up resentment. I've not appropriately confronted things. So I'm always authentic in my life journey. And it's still a space of, arguably the least optimal space of my life, how, especially when people are close to me, I effectively confront what's happening. When people are arm's length, I'm unchallenged in that space. But the closer people become, the more challenge I have. So I speak to you from a place, right, not of on high, but a place where this is a wrestling area for me. But I have absolutely made the decision that I'm going to unconditionally love all people. I will realize that people's actions are acts of love or cries for help as I continue to access and explore my boundaries and confronting. And finally, at this point, each and every day, and I glean this from Og Mandino's The Greatest Salesman in the World, I say scroll 7 each day. I say all 10 scrolls, but scroll 7 for me is today, I will be master of my confronts, my truths, my boundaries. I will master my states, my emotions, my confronts, my truths, and my boundaries, and explore what that looks like. So with that said, on this Thankful Thursday, does anybody else have a win they want to share?
I'd like to give props to the Unblinded community for the growth and your new venue and the momentum that you've picked up. Absolutely amazing.
Oh my goodness, who is this?
Joan Greco.
Hey, Joan, how are you? Joan was
I'm doing great.
a dear friend and a seatmate for some of Date with Destiny. So thank you, Joan, and thank you for our wonderful seat friendship boundary sharing time at Date with Destiny. As things got a little crazy. So Joan, I really appreciate that very, very much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, and hey, we're working hard at it and continuing to innovate and get to higher levels of mastery and take massive action. But I will tell you that you can have an incredible teams, and we certainly have had an incredible team. But when you took the likes of if I start naming people, I'm gonna mess it up. So I'll go, Fernando, and let's say team, and then you added into it Jared, Adam, Chaz, as a new infusion of energy, skill, and massive action. It has truly been incredible what is happening. So with that said, Jared Yellen, that's like a setup segue with Joan. Thank you for that. Jared, what's cooking? Where are we at? And any final wrap-ups?
Yeah, so thank you for the acknowledgement, and pretty sweet deal, right? It was funny because I went and as you guys know, I visited the theater last week, the original venue, and the theater it's beautiful, it's magical, but it's completely impractical for what we're creating because of the velocity that we're co-creating. And I say co-creating because many of you are contributing at a really high level. You've signed up, you're taking your opportunity and your responsibility to bring guests very seriously, and the pace at which that we are getting people committed to this event, agreement formation, is actually fascinating. I mean, literally every day there's like hundreds of people that are registering, and they're saying that they're bringing 2 guests, 3 guests. The average person is bringing 7 guests to this experience. So just based on that, I had this like dream at night, and I thought to myself, we're going to have standing room only in a theater that doesn't have standing room. So what are we going to do? And that was the motivation to see what other options exist. And we have a wonderful event company that's helping us, and they were able to pivot extremely quickly. And this new venue is fantastic. It is exactly where we are all meant to catalyze this movement. Tony Robbins was there a number of years ago. It is a convention center, so there's space to expand.
Hey, Jared, it's just Sean.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a speaking engagement this morning. I want to say happy Thankful Thursday. Jared's going to take it home. I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Have an amazing day. And if you're not at the Christmas party, get on a plane and come, and see you tomorrow night. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.
Have a great day today. Yeah. So what I was saying is this is where it's meant to go down. It's a space where we'll be able to really create the unblinded experience because it's a convention center. There's more flexibility. And I've said this now many times, and I'm going to be so repetitive with this. This is not just like any other event. I mean, you're not coming to this event to hear crazy music and see crazy lights and to jump on chairs and to pound your chest, although there'll be some of those things. You're coming to this event to immerse yourself in the formula, to learn a skill that will stick with you for a lifetime. And the coolest part of this is why we really get to shift up the venue, is that when you're going through this experience, Sean's going to teach a piece of the formula, and then you're going to do the formula right there. And this is why people are bringing their teams. They're bringing clients with them, valued clients. They're bringing vendors with them. They're bringing networking partners with them, ecosystem partners. They're bringing these people to the event because they want to role play with them. They want to learn together, and then they want to leave together and integrate and synthesize what just took place for 3 immersive days back into their life and back into their business. The guarantee is this: you will leave this experience with a degree of mastery around the unblinded sales mastery formula. And that's something that sticks with you for a lifetime. So that was really the final thing that led to us deciding to make this change so quickly. Was we wanted an environment where all of you could go and have that kind of experience, where you could interact easily with one another, where you can role play, where you can build these bonds and merge your ecosystem. So we're super excited here at our Unblinded Nerve Center, which is what we call it. We have officially outgrown it. So there are people like literally sitting on top of one another, making calls, serving you. And here's my ask. Here's my request to be in service of you. If you have not registered yet, register today. This is one of those experiences that you just can't afford to miss, because it's the official unveiling, the official launch of our movement. And when you register, make sure that you think of the people that you want to register with. We have a really cool guest special. We'd love to extend it to any of you. So head over to unblindedmastery.com. It's unblindedmastery.com. Use the promo code unblinded500. This will take $500 off your ticket. And we have a really cool guest special. So we will follow up with you to see if there's any guests that you want to bring with you as well. But take action today. Officially become part of this movement so we can break bread together. We can be together. We can role play together. This event is going to not just transform, it's going to prepare you for the next decade. There couldn't be a better time for Unblinded to kick off. It's kicking off at the beginning of a decade. And I can't wait for each and every one of you to experience it. So go out there today and speak your truth, share your unique hero identity with as many people as possible. And remember, together we achieve more. Goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
This is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much.
Bye, everyone.
Yes, Ben. Yes, Ben. Woo.
This is what it looks like.
See you later.
Where is the meeting?